The Vanderbilt family is one of the most well-known and powerful families in American history. They are also one of the wealthiest, with an estimated net worth of over $200 billion. But what happened to this once great dynasty? The Vanderbilt family's rise to power began in the 19th century with Cornelius Vanderbilt, also known as the Commodore. He was a self-made man who made his fortune in the shipping and railroad industries. He was a ruthless businessman, known for his cutthroat tactics and his ability to monopolize entire industries. He was one of the wealthiest men in the world at that time, and his fortune only continued to grow with the success of his son, William Henry Vanderbilt. William Henry Vanderbilt inherited his father's empire and expanded it even further. He was a shrewd businessman and he invested heavily in the stock market, which helped to further grow the family's wealth. He also built Grand Central Terminal in New York City, which was a major transportation hub and a symbol of the Vanderbilt's power and wealth. But the Vanderbilt's wealth and power were not meant to last. In the early 20th century, the family began to experience financial difficulties. The stock market crash of 1929 and the Great Depression had a major impact on the family's fortune. The Vanderbilts, like many other wealthy families, lost a significant amount of their wealth during this time. In addition to financial difficulties, the Vanderbilts also faced criticism and negative public perception. The family was known for their extravagant lifestyle and their willingness to flaunt their wealth, which made them a target for public disdain during the Great Depression. The Vanderbilts were also hit hard by the rise of income taxes. The family was used to live in a tax-free lifestyle, but with the introduction of the income tax, they were forced to pay a significant portion of their wealth to the government. The Vanderbilts also faced scrutiny from the government for their business practices. The family was investigated for monopolistic practices and for exploiting workers. This further damaged their reputation and led to the breakup of many of their businesses. Despite these difficulties, the Vanderbilts managed to hold on to some of their wealth and power. However, they were never able to regain the level of influence and wealth that they once had. Today, the Vanderbilts are still a wealthy and powerful family, but they are no longer the dominant force that they once were. The Vanderbilt family story is a cautionary tale of the dangers of wealth and power. It serves as a reminder that no matter how wealthy and powerful one may be, they are not immune to the forces of history and the changing times. In 1888, George Vanderbilt, the famous shipping magnate and industrialist Cornelius the Commodore Vanderbilt's grandson, made his first trip to Asheville, North Carolina. He was charmed by the natural beauty of the area and steadily started buying land, eventually acquiring 125,000 acres for his future country house. George hired architect Richard Morris Hunt to create a 250-room chateau because he wanted to make sure it could support itself. Frederick Law Olmsted, a landscape architect, was also employed to design formal gardens and turn the abandoned fields into a lovely pastoral setting. On Christmas Eve, 1895, Biltmore House was formally opened to family and guests. As the most eligible bachelor in America at the time, George Vanderbilt had a lovely new family home, but no one to live in it with him. On April 28, 1898, when he popped the question to Edith Stuyvesant Dresser, everything changed. Edith was a beloved family friend who was 10 years George's junior and known for both her beauty and personality. She was praised for being both cosmopolitan and cultured, as well as modest and grounded. Over the course of their marriage, the couple continued to share their love of learning and seeing new places. George and Edith were wed in a modest 15-minute civil ceremony on June 1, 1898, in a municipal hall in Paris, France. They held a religious ceremony in the American Church of the Holy Trinity in Paris, the following day in accordance with French custom. This wedding, which was surprisingly understated and intimate given the media hoopla that surrounds it, was only open to close friends and family. After a peaceful honeymoon in Italy, George brought his wife to Biltmore Estate. Estate workers lined up along the approach road to welcome Edith to her new house. When the couple arrived at Biltmore House, they were greeted by a huge goldenrod flower horseshoe that read, "Welcome home." On August 2020, 1900, their daughter Cornelia was born, expanding the family of the contented couple. Family members joyfully celebrated the event, which was also covered by nearby publications. A new star has emerged at the renowned Biltmore, and the endearing mistress of this most exquisite estate is grinning upon her firstborn, a baby girl named Cornelia Stuyvesant Vanderbilt, and the world shares in her newfound happiness, according to the Spartanburg Journal. Childhood was spent by Cornelia at Biltmore, where she frequently played with neighborhood kids whose families resided and worked there. Cornelius' father George unexpectedly passed away during an urgent appendectomy in Washington, D.C. in March 1914, when she was just 13 years old. After her husband's passing, Miss Vanderbilt returned to the estate, but she soon merged the family's companies and estates. A decade later, on April 27, 1924, at All Souls Church in Biltmore Village, Cornelia wed the Honorable John Francis Amherst Cecil. It was a beautiful celebration, as visitors from all around the world flocked to Asheville, a sleepy little town. British diplomat John Cecil was descended from Lord Burghley, Queen Elizabeth I's High Treasurer. A year later, a second generation made their way to Biltmore House. Biltmore House was a birthplace to George Henry Vanderbilt Cecil in 1925. William Amherst Vanderbilt Cecil was born in Biltmore House 3 years later. Although George and William received their education in Switzerland and England, respectively, they always spent holidays and summers at Biltmore. As adults, the brothers played a significant role in maintaining the estate. William, in particular, took part in managing the upkeep of Biltmore House, the property, and the Biltmore Company. With the fourth and fifth generations of George Vanderbilt's descendants working in day-to-day operations, Biltmore is still a family-run enterprise today. They carry out Biltmore's goal to protect this national asset along with its more than 2,000 staff members. According to Fortune's Children, The Fall of the House of Vanderbilt, a family history written by cousin Arthur T. Vanderbilt II, Commodore is alleged to have informed his son William Henry Billy Vanderbilt, "Any fool may make a fortune. It takes a man of intelligence to cling on to it." The 87% ownership stake that belonged to the family in New York Central was inherited by young Billy, who did his utmost to grow the company and reportedly double the family fortune to over $200 million. When Billy Vanderbilt passed away in 1885, he gave the family share of the business to both of his sons, Cornelius Vanderbilt II and William Kissam Vanderbilt. Notwithstanding Cornelius's wishes that the majority of the family money be left to one descendant. The third generation's distribution of the Vanderbilt fortune occurred at the same time that family interest in New York Central was waning and spending was gradually rising. The railroads were overseen by Cornelius Vanderbilt II until his passing in 1899. William Kissam Vanderbilt assumed control but quickly retreated to focus on his yachts and thoroughbred racehorses, while brother George Vanderbilt's 146,000-acre Biltmore mansion devoured his portion of the family fortune. William is alleged to have said in Vanderbilt's book, "Being happy is seriously hampered by inherited money. I am now left with nothing to hope for, nothing specific to seek after or work toward." Astonishing spending and never-ending rallies to maintain appearances were hallmarks of the Gilded Age. A remarkable collection of old master paintings, a line of homes in Newport, Rhode Island, including the Breakers, and 10 mansions on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan were among the Vanderbilt family's greatest possessions. The Vanderbilt family also developed a reputation for being generous. Third generation William Kissam Vanderbilt donated $1 million to help build tenement homes in New York City. He also donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Columbia University, the YMCA, the Vanderbilt Clinic, and Vanderbilt University. The third generation was the one who ceased passing down the wealth. After William's considerable charity and spending, his estate was reputedly worth the same amount he had inherited from his father in 1885. With that, the video has come to an end. Let us know what you think in the comment section to help us expand our community and attract more people who share our interest and are eager to learn. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you thought the video was interesting. Till then, bye.